Do you like wrestling? Do you ever watch wrestling?
No. Nope.
And The Rock said, whoa, 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 whoa.
What's up, gang? Welcome to Watch Wrestling with Mike Wellman, the podcast that breaks down the biggest stories in and out of the ring. My name is Mike Wellman. I am your host. Thank you for hitting that play button. We appreciate you around here, as always. This is episode 84 of this beautiful wrestling podcast. Thanks again for hitting that play button. We are here to break down the biggest stories in and out of the ring. And on this episode, we are going to be previewing AEW All In London 2024. Folks, the time is upon us. Bryan Danielson is about to become the AEW World Champion, and all will be right with the world. But before we talk about All In, we're going to talk about the news about Ricochet signing with AEW. We're going to talk about Jacob Fatu putting his hands on Roman Reigns on Smackdown last week. We're going to talk about possibly the Lucho Brothers going at WWE. That was in the news last week. We might talk about a racist guy named Terry who lives in Florida if we have time. And we're doing a post show for our patrons, Patreon exclusive post show. We're going to discuss whether or not we think AEW needs something like a performance center for developing their talent. So be sure to check out the Patreon there to see the post show. Joining me at this time, the voice of the people, the notorious Wrestling Fan Kris. Well, what's up, Chris?
What's up, Mike? Good to be all in on the podcast.
Well, you're about to be all out when you're making jokes like that on the podcast.
All right, you're right.
You will be all out if you try to make some more dad jokes like that on this show.
That's totally fair. I know it's in my contract, so I will not breach the contract again.
I'll let your contract expire. And then
with that Jacob P, huh? They're not even going to let me have that 90 days pay. Jeez.
No, I was going to say I'll let your contract expire, and then I'll keep using you on TV, and then I'll actually put my world championship on you with no contract.
What is this, 2010 TNA?
Oh, it's actually 2024 AEW.
Oh, that too, yeah. Very good. Very good.
All right, folks. Oh, we're going to talk about Fanatics Fest, too. But before we go any farther, that's right. We need you to be kind, like, subscribe, and share. Watch Wrestling with Mike Wellman. Folks, you already know where to find this podcast because you already found this podcast, whether it was on Apple, Spotify, Google, the video on YouTube. Be kind, subscribe. You can also find us on social media. Hit up our X account at WWrestlingPod, at Watch Wrestling Podcast on Instagram, Watch Wrestling Pod on Facebook, patreon.com/watchwrestling. Find us. And we look forward to having zero problems, big fella. Isn't that right, Chris?
As always, that is right.
So, Chris, let's talk about Fanatics Fest. Did you see this WWE presence at Fanatics Fest?
I kept seeing it all over X and all the social medias.
I'm not going to lie. Yeah. I follow these conventions, and I was not really, this one was not on my radar because I'm not really into other sports and specifically like sports memorabilia. So it didn't really click with me. I knew these WWE people were going to be there, but it turned out to be this like social media dominating thing for WWE.
It's pretty incredible because I would not think, well, let's just say like if it wasn't popular as it is right now, they would never be there. So that's really a testament to how like exciting and popular the sport of kings is right now nowadays.
Oh yeah, I would say right now at least WWE is up there with all of the major sports leagues, like the larger group of sports leagues that I would include, like the soccer leagues and even like F1 and obviously UFC. The WWE is now among those sports leagues as far as like sports fandom, I would say.
I think so, yeah, absolutely. Because like if you told me the Fanatics Fest was going to have WWE like last year, I would be like, that's ridiculous. That'd be a funny thing to think of. I'd just laugh it off, like, yeah, fake booths, and then they're here and they're like dominating social media.
Yeah, And apparently they had the longest lines, and they were the only sellouts there at Fanatics Fest of all the sports. So yeah, like you said, the sport of kings, folks. So
I mean, Rhea Ripley, I guess, like for me, that she's kind of like shined right from Fanatics Fest. I just kept seeing all the stuff about Rhea Ripley, left and right.
They have so many people right now that are like, I mean, relatively speaking, mainstream stars, right? Yeah. Even like Rey Mysterio. Apparently, these kids know who Rey Mysterio is.
I mean, that's incredible. Yeah, I mean, he's been around.
Gen Z
years.
Likes Rey Mysterio.
I mean, Rey Mysterio in like '96 is like they would be mind boggled by that Rey Mysterio.
Yeah, it's like if you think this guy's good, why don't you watch Rey Mysterio versus Psychosis?
Oh, I know.
What it's like
Juventude.
Yeah. So you got Rey Mysterio, like you said, Rhea Ripley, CM Punk, who's apparently the Taylor Swift of men.
Of course, CM Punk, yeah.
CM Punk.
No more breach of contracts, like I said earlier.
Yeah, so they had this like the WWE entrance at Fanatics Fest. That looked fun.
All those. Yeah, that was a little thing there. That was pretty cool.
Like that's one of those like setups that like when you like if you just see like a wrestling fan carrying like a wrestling championship, it just looks like foolish. Like I don't really like in the crowd when you see him hold like everybody looks small because you're used to the gigantic wrestlers carrying the belt, right? Yep. Like it just looks weird on a normal person. So, and just in general, I think normal people look weird on wrestling. Like when they get in the ring. Because they don't have the athleticism of being used to getting in the ring. So like when a celebrity gets in the ring, it looks awkward, or they look small compared to the wrestlers. And
even buff guys are small compared to wrestlers.
Yeah. But like over the years when they've had like Hugh Jackman get in the ring or whomever, it just looks like they look out of place. And then you've got this entrance where it's like for the fans to walk through, and they don't like you're getting a wrestling entrance. Come on, I wouldn't care how stupid I looked coming out. I would come out to that NWO entrance. I'd be doing the Scott Hall. I wouldn't care how stupid I looked.
Yeah, like right now we're talking about it, and I'm like, that's dumb. But once you get there and you see it, you're putting up the too sweet. Absolutely.
I'd be out there. This is my brutality. Stomp.
You have to.
I could tell it looked fun to me. Like they don't, not, a lot of these like setups, even at like WWE Access and stuff, like it doesn't look, particularly fun. It just looks like a lot of long lines and merch. And I wouldn't really want to wait in a long line to meet really anybody. But that entrance looked like it would just be so much fun. I wouldn't care how stupid I looked walking out. I would be so into it. And that's the point, right?
Definitely. That's such a nice touch. Because you're right. I wouldn't probably wait in a long line to meet anyone either. But I'd wait in a long line to go through an entrance like that with some music playing.
Yeah, I mean, and if anybody watching, anybody in the Watch Wrestling gang was there, like were the lines super long for Fanatics Fest? Was it like hours long lines? Comment on the video and let us know, or was it just like a reasonable time frame to meet people like Rhea Ripley or whomever?
I wonder if it's like, I don't know, it's like I also wonder that too, if the wrestling fans are just going there and they're purely wrestling fans, so like all those lines are long because everyone who wants to go there is going to wrestling. Everyone who's in a wrestling line is just going there to meet the wrestlers, so it's like I bet you the other lines were okay, but the wrestling ones were so specific. But I don't know, maybe not.
I wonder if the wrestling fans were giving the other sports fans tips on how to stalk their favorite athletes and get 15 autographs out of them for free at the airport at 3 a.m.
They're definitely, oh God.
This is what you do. You get 14 Funko Pops of the guy. You show up at the airport with the Funko Pops taped to some cardboard, and you just shove it in their face.
Yeah. Thanks, Kev.
Yeah, this is what you do when you're in Mini. All right, yeah, I just want to talk about Fanatics Fest because it looked really cool. They were on top of everything on social media with that. So now let's talk about the Bloodline saga because it has taken yet another turn, and I am enjoying this. So we had Solo Sikoa came out last week on SmackDown. And now at this point, he's demanding that Roman Reigns acknowledge him. Because Roman came back and took everybody out. And now Solo is coming out with the Ulafala. And he wants Roman to acknowledge him. So Roman comes out, does not acknowledge him. Roman takes out Solo. No problem. Every time.
Easy.
And then Roman gets the Ulafala. Finally. He threw to the side the WWE tag title. He didn't want that.
No.
Grabs the Ulafala, holds it in his hands. Finally, the tribal chief is back. And then, of course, he gets attacked. Surprisingly, by Jacob Fatu.
Moving around really good in that boot, too.
He's in a boot. So the story of that he was supposed to be injured in that moment at SummerSlam, he was supposed to be away from Roman, and he's walking around with a boot on. Is he? I mean, we're really keeping up kayfabe here.
Yeah, it's been weeks. I don't believe that anymore. He's hurt.
It's possible. Yeah, I would lean towards that he's wearing a boot because he needs to.
Yeah, but I mean, it's early enough and you're keeping it on TV. He'll probably be healed by when it needs to happen.
Did he get up and do the jumping moonsault with that boot on, or no? Or did he just do a super kick?
No, I don't think he did. I think those are probably going to be. We're going to wait on those probably.
Yeah, it's those moves. You're probably not cleared with that boot on.
But I mean, he was running that little running ass hit to Roman's face. That was a good one.
Roman's face when he got hit with that was like, oh,
it was.
It was incredible. It's like. This is why Roman is so great. It's moments like that, you know?
I mean, he was selling that whole attack very well.
Yeah.
What a guy.
So, unfortunately, on the scoreboard now, the matches we need are still Roman versus The Rock. And now, really, the next match for Roman after that is Roman versus Jacob Fatu that I care about.
Yeah.
You know? I don't see, and then
is there going to be like other matches where like is Jacob Fatu going to like? Because I mean, he's obviously the quote unquote enforcer, but is he going to take out Solo eventually? I don't know. There's so many options here.
Well, Roman needs to figure out how to get some backup here. Shouldn't he know this game by now? You know,
he's too proud right now, and now he's not going to be.
I mean, for 4 years he was the king of having backup.
Burned a lot of bridges, though. See?
His whole bloodline, his entire family tree was at the ready. You saw that family tree when The Rock put it up on the screen.
It's a big tree.
They were all waiting to be called upon by the tribal chief to attack his opponents. And
now's the time.
But now, where is everybody? Where are the elders? What do the elders think about Solo?
Good question. I think The Rock is keeping him at bay.
Yeah, what does The Rock have to say about this? Has Solo gone rogue, or does Solo have the support of the Rock and the tribal elders?
That's a great question.
Of the real high chief.
These are questions we need found out, okay?
But yeah, the point I'm trying to make is I want to see Roman versus Jacob Fatu a lot more than I want to see Roman versus Solo.
Definitely.
And it's just a testament to how awesome Jacob Fatu is.
To go in there with like a boot on, because like look at wearing a boot is not badass at all, right? But he goes in there and still looks like a killer, like the baddest dude around, and he is great.
Yeah, any medical equipment makes you look just weak.
Yeah, it's like TV. Absolutely. But nope, he's running around that boot. He's super kicking. He's doing stuff like I can't believe it.
Yeah, I mean he was doing a lot for somebody wearing a boot, but so it seems like I don't think they would have rushed a plan if he was injured. So it seems like it must have been the plan all along for him to interact with Roman kind of right away, essentially.
Yeah, because I think, because now Roman needs backup, like you said. And who could he get? Who's out there? We know. We're waiting. Usos.
Oh, I was going to say the Tonga Kid.
I mean, well, it could be. He had, like you said, I'm sure. I think Solo's going rogue. I think the bloodline's still with Roman, so.
Well, Yeah, I think it's gonna be time for Jey Uso to meet back up with his cousin, and then where's Jimmy Uso been?
Yep. And then they need one other person.
They just need one other person. Somebody.
Whoever.
No, I mean it could be somebody relatively generic.
Yes, nailed it.
He could be somebody who likes ska music. Dun, 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 dun.
I think so. It could be anyone.
Could be an honorary Oos.
Yes.
Or it could be somebody who is bloodline, like Sami Zayn.
Oh yes, that makes sense. No, that would probably, that's gonna be awesome. I mean, that's happening, right? I would say if, but I mean that's what's happening, so that's gonna be awesome.
It's possible that they bring in more people. I think
that's true.
You know, I still think I think they're way more open to doing stuff like that. Like for one, if you notice, Jacob Fatu was right on TV. He didn't have to learn the WWE style for 6 months in NXT or something.
That's
off
true.
camera.
Like, even Solo Sikoa was in NXT for like 3-4 months.
Yeah, and that seemed fast as well for him to come up to the main roster right away. So it seems to me like they're much more open into bringing in people and not having to, worry about them doing the exact style of wrestling that they want. They're just putting them right out there.
Yeah, I mean, even the Guerrillas of Destiny came around to TV. I know they're veterans, have been around for a long time, but even a team like that would probably be in NXT in recent years first. So who knows what's going to happen? I love it. The possibilities are endless.
Yeah, so we'll see what stage of the game we're at this week. I mean, Roman is probably going to be gone. We saw him twice in the past basically week, right? Or 2 weeks. I mean, there you go. See you later. See you in 2025.
Yeah.
Those are all of his dates. No, I'm sure it seems like it's a Survivor Series thing, right?
Oh, yeah, it's got to be.
Because we got the Bash in Berlin coming up. Then you have, so that's August. So then in September you have In Your House Ground Zero, right? Then October you have In Your House Bad Blood, which is actually a thing. So maybe it's a bad blood. Maybe there could be some bad bloodline blood.
Yes, bad bloodline. It writes itself.
If I was bringing back Roman, like I think his first match back I wouldn't put him in a singles match. I would do the Survivor Series or a War Games or maybe even a tag match. Like if it's going to be before Survivor Series, you would think like maybe a tag match.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I don't know. I don't think we're going to see the High Chief Siuli until WrestleMania season. The Rock.
Yeah, absolutely. That's January. That's new. That's 2025. Put that out of your head.
Yeah. So we don't. I don't think they're going to like pair up The Rock with Roman.
Not yet. No. I think you're right. Yeah.
So, just had to talk about the bloodline. So now let's talk about some folks who might be going to WWE. I don't think they'll be helping out Roman Reigns, but that would be cool. Did you hear the rumors about the Lucha Brothers possibly going to WWE? There's a lot of stuff, a lot of swirling rumors about these two.
There is a lot, and I did hear them, and I was actually surprised, honestly.
You'd think that they would just stay in AEW?
Yeah, I do. I mean, it's like, I know Triple H has a lot of gravitas now, and people respect him, but I mean, they're still like, you're Andrades, and you're Santos Escobars. Those guys are talented, and they get a lot of TV time, but they don't necessarily win a lot. They're not getting super pushed. But so I don't know. I get nervous sometimes, especially when English isn't your first language. I know that was a Vince McMahon thing, but sometimes those guys don't get pushed. Even Santos Escobar, who is like, it's perfect English. I don't even think I think that's his first language anyway, and he still doesn't get that pushed. So I'm a little nervous.
Yeah, there were obviously memes online saying that they would be joining the LWO. Yep,
and also that they tend to, like, Triple H tends to congregate like all like Latino wrestlers together.
No, I actually think that WWE's smart for wanting the Lucha Brothers, and I think that it does make sense to me that they would want to go just to WWE. They're not being used in the main event capacity that they are really as performers. They could easily be either guy constantly challenging for the AEW title or holding the AEW title. I think that they have the fan base as well, and they feel. I mean, this is just me speculating. They probably feel underutilized, and WWE is looking for. I'm telling you, both sides have a list of people that they want from the other side.
Yeah,
and I think that we'll see. Who was the person that I told you was going to be in WWE? Oh, it was Ethan Page, right? I told you.
Yep.
The second he was gone from AEW, I said he's going to be in WWE, and now he's the NXT champion.
Yeah.
So they are looking for that underutilized talent. WWE is, and like I told you, I said they're looking to push these guys to kind of show what they can do with talent that AEW can't. Right? That's one of the aspects of it.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, and you never know. I shouldn't begrudge people for wanting to go to WWE. I mean, or even just go to NXT where you don't have to travel much and you still get to wrestle all the time, and get paid a decent. I know they don't make a ton of money in NXT, but I mean, it's pretty good, especially if you're not traveling. So I never begrudge anyone for wanting to do that.
I don't think they're going to be in NXT. I think they're going to go straight to the main roster.
Probably, but I'm just even like with Ethan Page. I mean, they can't begrudge him either for like getting a push, even if it's NXT. But he doesn't have to travel very much. He gets to be on TV a lot. Like I get it.
Yeah. So, I mean, all these rumors about the Lucha Brothers still being under contract. Penta comes out and says AEW is my present. So that didn't exactly alleviate any of the speculation here, Penta. That gave us cero información, amigo.
Perfect. That sounds like he was in like the Vince McMahon steroid trial. Presently, yeah.
Yeah. So Penta says AEW is his present. Okay. Thank you for letting us know.
Good info. I like that. That's what a carny move. I love that.
I mean, you got to tamper the speculation one way or the other. I mean, you can't have it because they are under contract still. I don't know exactly when it comes up, but there's a game to this whole thing with the contracts, right? I mean, you are the way these generally work is that your current, the company that you're under contract with, not really your employer legally, right? They're not really their employer. They have a contract as independent contractors.
Yeah.
That company will usually have, whether it's sometimes there's an option to extend your contract, right? That they can take or leave. There's then sometimes a negotiating period where you can't really negotiate with another company when you're under contract.
Yeah. Yep.
So, but what do we see throughout the entire history of pro wrestling is guy's contract ends, he knows where he's going. Right?
Oh, yeah.
And there are obvious examples of people admitting it 20 years later, like, oh, yeah, I flew on a secret plane to this guy's house, Jericho. And, it's just so obvious that the way they do it is they'll say, they'll talk to their friend in the company, and they'll work through intermediaries, through just levels of intermediaries to say, my contract's coming up. I wonder if there's any interest at that other company. Let me ask my friend who works there.
Yeah, you gotta put out feelers. Yeah.
But I just mean it's like rock solid though. It's not, it's like you wouldn't turn down money for not a guarantee. You know what I mean? Like when you're
Definitely.
leaving one place and going to another place, very rarely are you kind of going to test the waters. You've already tested the waters and you know which waters you're going to,
Absolutely.
So in this case, it seems a little bit overt with the Lucha Brothers,
Yes, exactly. That's why you say AEW is my present.
Right, exactly.
That's it.
So another person who's kind of going from one side of the wrestling war to the other is Ricochet. That was weird.
Oh, what was that? Sorry.
Are you getting your creative texted to you?
Yeah, he's sending me the script.
Yeah, you gotta tell him you don't like it.
All right, we're good. Sorry.
So, Ricochet, gone from WWE, Fightful reporting now he signed with AEW.
Fun. We know about Ospreay and Ricochet's history. That seems fun. But I mean, he might fall into the Lucha Brothers category where he's out for a little while. When he first comes in, has my profile matches, and then just falls to the wayside.
Yeah, I think that just like what I was saying about WWE trying to maximize people that come over, I think AEW is going to try to kind of have their own version of it. Although the more stuff, and we'll talk about it a little more with the All In preview when we get into it, more stuff in AEW seems to be just kind of happening. And, you know, there's definitely the big storylines going into the big show, but there's a lot of people who are just kind of there. And even when they're having good matches, it's like you wouldn't know.
Yep.
Unless you're watching every minute, every quarter hour of AEW television.
Yes.
So with Ricochet, yeah, there's tons of matches he could have. We've talked about it when we first learned that he was leaving WWE. Give me Ricochet versus Ospreay. Best of the Super Juniors. Let's do it again. This is Tony Khan's MO. Something that already happened. Do it again in AEW.
Yep.
Something great. Let's do it here. So
fine with me.
Let's do it. Bust out the stars. Get them ready. Have a 7-star classic from Ricochet and Will Ospreay.
I was like, bust out the stars. Like I was thinking of celebrities, but no, obviously ratings, star ratings.
Yeah, like Super Mario stars, you know?
Yeah, like, what am I thinking? Bust out the stars. It starts at 5.5 before the bell even rings.
Hey, once the bell rings, that's 2 stars.
That's right. It's the SAPs. You sign your name, it's whatever, 300 points.
Ricochet and Will Ospreay facing off, 3 stars.
That's
We're up to 3. They shake hands, 3.5. So yeah, so that's the obvious one, and I think they will go right to that or build to it. But there is so much fun stuff for Ricochet. I have a feeling we'll be seeing Ricochet take on the gentleman in Top Flight, which now apparently does include Action Andretti. I don't know if you've seen their outfits, the Top Flight outfits. They're like airport or flight attendants.
Got it. Makes sense.
Pac's still in AEW.
Oh, that'd be an awesome match. Absolutely.
As we learned the other week in his promo. Ricochet versus Pac. We also talked about a potential Ricochet indie run, right? Like, whether it's kind of go to the indies first, which obviously he didn't, or go do indie stuff while you're in AEW, because some people do that as well. The underutilized talent, but Ricochet versus Alec Price.
Oof.
Amazing Red still wrestles. Ricochet versus Amazing Red.
That's like your dream match. I know.
I would fly there to watch that one.
You'd have to.
So Mustafa Ali's around.
Oh yeah. Damn.
So there's endless opportunities for 5+ star matches with Ricochet. But I hope that they don't, like you said, just show him off in the beginning and then he ends up in a rushed segment in the middle of the show, backstage with like 8 other guys.
Yeah.
You know?
Hopefully not. He's pretty talented. I don't know. He seems like a Tony Khan guy, so that might not happen with him.
So we talked about the Lucha Brothers. We talked about Ricochet. We talked about Jacob Fatu and Roman. You want to talk about All In?
Let's do it.
Folks, AEW is back at Wembley Stadium for a second year in a row, giving us another All In event, which actually, before we talk about this year's All In, let's talk about next year's All In, which was announced that All In is going to Dallas. Right?
Sportatorium?
I'm pretty sure it is going to be in Dallas, Texas, at the Sportatorium.
Historic. No, that's a lot. There's a lot of seats in the arena, so I understand.
It's going to be at this little dumpy venue that they got down there in Texas. It's called Globe Life Field.
Yeah. Good luck.
It's no Sportatorium.
It's true. Couldn't book the Sportatorium anyway if he tried.
So yeah, so we learned AEW had a big press conference last Thursday. And next year, All In Texas going down. So they're bringing All In to America next year. I would think that's because WrestleMania is going to be in London probably next year.
Something like that, yeah. Maybe SummerSlam to redo it again.
Well, not WrestleMania. WrestleMania is going to be in Vegas. We already know that.
Oh yeah.
So then would it be SummerSlam? Because that's the one that's not announced, right? Is next year's SummerSlam?
I don't think so. And it fits the timeline, I think, of why All In wouldn't be there.
I think the WWE is bringing a big event, and that's why AEW is not going to be doing All In London.
I agree.
So, but I do like the idea of bringing this one show to other big arenas, because now it's become a big arena or a big stadium show.
Yeah, why not? That's a good idea.
So we got the news that next year they'll be bringing All In to America. So I just wanted to talk about that before we get into the actual show this year. Which, folks, it's going to happen. I still believe it's going to happen. Especially after this past Wednesday's Dynamite in Cardiff, Bryan Danielson will become the AEW World Champion. That's going to be the title of this episode. Bryan will win.
You've been saying it for months.
So, the main event, let's talk about that first. I didn't bury the lead. Bryan's going to win. We got Swerve Strickland defending the AEW Championship against Bryan Danielson. I thought this past Wednesday's Dynamite really turned this thing up a notch. I mean, it's the Wednesday before the show, but still, I thought it was great.
Oh, no, that's fine. Yeah, you got plenty of time. That's good. You got to keep the heat going right before the show.
Bryan's been getting chastised and hassled in the back by everybody. Jeff Jarrett bothering him, telling him that he needs to see more out of him. Bryan's been talking about how he wants to go retire and spend time with his family. His kids want him to retire. His wife and kids are going to be ringside. Bree, think we'll get some Bree mode in this match?
Oh, that's very good. Yep.
Going to be ringside, so guaranteed emotional roller coaster. This one is going to be another family that Swerve can traumatize. He did with Hangman's family.
Yeah, that's bad. Watch out.
So DJ Hookid was there last year. You think he'll be there with Swerve this year?
Yeah.
Flash Garments probably will
Absolutely.
Be there.
Be awesome. It's going to be great.
Man, that big pressure trail mix with Bun B and Westside Gun is awesome.
Just room to lose.
B, bring out Bun B in London.
I know. Hall of Famer.
You already know. So I think this is going to be a great match. I like the stakes. When they first announced that Bryan would retire if he didn't win, I thought it was kind of an obvious giveaway that he's going to win. But then they kind of took me in the other direction. They swerved when they drove in the other direction with Bryan's neck injury. So he's going around telling everybody in interviews that he has to have neck surgery. Jesus. We're going to go out there and watch Bryan Danielson have the match of his life after he's told everyone that he needs neck surgery.
Yeah, man, that like German suplex he inevitably takes and lands on the back of his neck is going to be insane.
So, is that them trying to tell us that maybe we're actually putting Bryan's career on the line because it is time for him to hang them up and this is his way of going out, so it's less sad that he has to kind of end his career? Well, I mean, even though he wants to, but it would be because of an injury, so then Swerve could kind of take him out. And
oh yeah, could be
in front of those 50,000 that's going to be this year in London.
I think it leads. Yeah, I mean, he might win the match, but I think there's no possible way he doesn't like relinquish that title on Dynamite the next week.
Yeah, so that's what I was going to say. Is we're rooting for a man to win the world championship who's telling us that he needs neck surgery. But I think my plan all along is Bryan wins, has the moment, and then we don't have to say, okay, take 2 months off, come back, defend it against Swerve, and lose in a rematch. You can just relinquish it.
I agree.
Yep. It does create that kind of vacuum where it's not a clean transition from one champion to the next. like it doesn't do anything for Swerve. That's not, because a rematch would be good for Swerve, right?
Yeah. But I mean, I think like if they have some sort of tournament though, and then Swerve just like wins the tournament, I think that's fine. That builds him still. He gets a lot of heat from that.
Well, they have the Wrestle Dream event, right? I think it's in Seattle. So that would be a good place for Swerve to regain the title from Bryan. But the neck surgery thing, and is this Bryan Danielson? Does he really need neck surgery? Is this the lie of it all? Is this the work? So then we start to think like, oh well, one way or the other, he's done because he needs neck surgery. So you go have neck surgery, you're out, and then you can come back for a match. But see you next year, right? After neck surgery, for one match, and then it could be like I said against Nigel, who was right out there in the ring on Dynamite.
Yes, he was.
So I don't know. Now I'm curious. It's been built up so well that I'm definitely of the belief that Bryan is extremely like beat up beyond calling it beat up. Like he's probably injured badly and does need surgery, right? So I would say that he's going to win. After that, like I said, it doesn't matter what happens after that. We can close the book on this thing. It's done. The whole show is wrapped. Bryan Danielson is the world champion. Done.
I love it.
Wrestling is over. That's the end of the story.
Wrestling is over forever. Yes.
The song of Bryan Danielson is over. So I'm done watching wrestling at that point. No, just kidding.
Even higher stakes now, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. If Bryan Danielson loses, I will never watch wrestling again. No, I don't mean that. So that's just the main event, folks. I'm excited for that one. Let me see if do I have this card pulled up here? So this one's going on during the day. We forgot to mention that. Over here on the East Coast, it's going to start at 1 p.m. Eastern Time.
That's actually pretty awesome.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So I think the second most important match on the card, Toni Storm versus Mariah May. Another one, folks. Mariah May is going to win the championship.
Yes.
This is going to be a great match. This is like one of AEW's best stories that they've ever told, in my opinion. Because it's been going on since the beginning. Like, since Mariah May showed up. It's like, how could they have built to this? How could they have known that it was going to go so well? And Toni Storm, this character. And I guess Mariah May was working a lot with RJ City on this story.
Oh, good. Nice.
Of her being, the stalker / understudy of Toni Storm, who eventually takes her out and bashes her brains in with a high heel.
I know it was well done from beginning to end. But we'll see how this match goes before it ends.
Yeah, this is going to be good, for sure.
I think this will finally be the match where, like, Mariah May can shine in the ring, because she's really going to go after it and really, like, try to beat the shit out of Toni Storm. So it'll be great.
And this match, according to Will Ospreay, the world champion can't be trusted to have a good match. Did you hear him say that? Shots fired. Did you hear that?
No. What? Maybe did I miss that?
On Dynamite last night, he said that Tony Khan told him that they can't trust their world champion to have a good match. So MJF and Will Ospreay need to go out there and have a decent match.
Damn. That must have dozed off. That's tough.
That was shooting.
Yeah.
I was surprised to hear that.
That can lead right nicely into Ospreay versus Swerve, though, coming up next after these matches.
Well, maybe backstage.
Well, that too, yeah.
No. MJF, Will Ospreay. I wasn't super I didn't find it instantly hilarious, the MJF American angle, but I do get it. He's going to be this uber heel in England. So he's got to be Mr. America. So while we find that to be off-putting or unfunny, because it's just what we see when we go out in public is just people wearing American flag Zubaz and shit. and it's annoying and obnoxious. He's doing it for kind of the English crowd, where he's the heel American. Just like throughout the history of wrestling, there have been so many other country villains, you know.
Yes.
Like the Iron Sheik and all these guys from other countries. So that's MJF being the American, but he's the bad guy. So I think they're going to have an awesome match. I think Will Ospreay's going to win, change the championship back into the International Championship. And
yeah, it's perfect.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll kind of see if anything happens in that match. So we also have this one, which has not, this Mercedes and Britt Baker, this build for this match has not been hitting for me.
Me neither, especially with the two people involved. You'd think it'd be better.
I mean, Camille is great, I think.
Good addition, I agree.
She's a great heater. She's great in the ring, too. And I like how Britt Baker just dove on top of her during that contract signing. That was hilarious. But, no, if you compare the back and forth on the microphone between Mercedes and Britt Baker to, let's say, like MJF and CM Punk back in the day in AEW.
Yep.
This isn't that, right?
No.
So Mercedes in general, you know, she's got Camille now. I don't know if she's a better heel than a babyface. I don't know. And I mean, the match I think is going to be great. I'll say it's going to be very good. I'm confident it's going to be very good.
Yeah.
Right? I'd put it in the very good category, just anticipation-wise. Because it's almost impossible for Mercedes to have a bad match. And it's almost like all of this stuff with Mercedes in these promos is kind of taken away from the fact that she probably is, you know, one of the very best women's wrestlers in the world. And she routinely shows that. And all of her matches are kind of on that highest level, right?
Yep.
So we'll probably definitely see that. But I think that the promo work between her and Britt Baker. Like, did you see when Britt Baker came out from the crowd and like the timing was off on everything? Like,
yeah.
like Camille starts beating up a person in the crowd who they never like revealed who that was. Like it was supposed to be somebody in the crowd that you thought was Britt Baker in disguise. So Camille pulls him over the railing, starts beating on him, and then Mercedes is like watching in the ring but facing forward so Britt Baker can come in from behind. Britt Baker's like music hits. And they show her like walking. It was just like freaking Papa Shango at WrestleMania 8.
Yeah,
it was like he's just like running down the ring way after, you know? So she had to come in like from the crowd, and then she's on the apron and she's like putting on her glove, and Mercedes like looks over and sees her and doesn't react. And because it was like it wasn't good. But I think Britt Baker definitely took a little bit too long getting in there for sure.
Yeah, the time was way off. Yeah, I mean... yeah, the match will be very good. So maybe I'll just kind of forget and be like, man, remember that Britt Baker Mercedes match? That was awesome. And we'll forget about this. But yeah, it's been a little lackluster.
Yeah. So who do you think is going to win?
Oh, man. I think Mercedes is winning.
Yeah, I would say so.
Definitely.
Wouldn't surprise me, though, if Britt Baker won.
It wouldn't surprise me either, but that's like getting into like, I don't know. Is Britt Baker like turning into like CM Punk? You know, backstage. But either way, it'll be fine. It'll be a good match, and it's fine. It'll be fine.
So then we have the TNT Championship, Jack Perry defending against Darby Allin in a coffin match. Didn't Jack Perry... Well, who beat Christian in a coffin match? Was that Jack Perry? Is he undefeated in coffin matches?
Yeah, I think he is. Yep.
Uh-oh. Well, Darby does... a coffin drop. So
I said all of Darby's matches are coffin matches with his finish, you know?
Yeah, so he's got to make sure that he doesn't accidentally coffin drop into the coffin. Was it at All In last year where they did the coffin drop onto the coffin?
Oh, yeah, I think
Swerve?
it was. Oh, it was horrible, yeah. Oh.
I don't know why I do things. Just checking out that Instagram reel. Anyway. What do you think of the new TNT title? I like this one. This black version.
It's definitely better. It definitely looks like a more like maybe not credible, at least cooler belt, you know? Doesn't look like some toy.
Yeah, that belt has had a lot of different variations. Remember Scorpio Sky when he had like the LA Lakers version?
Oh man, holy! I haven't thought about that in months, years.
There was the when Cody had it. It was like the unfinished belt. It was flat plate of whatever metal.
Yeah, that was all right. I like that one.
I think this one's one of the better ones for sure. I did like the plain black and gold with just the red banner.
That was good, yeah. But this one's up there with that one.
So this is a coffin match. These two have already. So Jack Perry has taken a school. This is the like button is back again. Be sure to like, folks. Like the podcast. I don't know where is that thing coming from. It's a bubble with a like in it, with a like hand. It's really cool. But I have no idea where it came from. There is a ghost telling you to like the podcast here. But yeah, so
our reach is far, even to the other side.
It's Uncle Howdy. It's the Wyatt Six. So Jack Perry has run over Darby Allin with a bus and possible homeless people because there was a large pile of stuff and you don't know who could have been in there. And then he has been lit on fire by Darby Allin with a flamethrower. Okay.
So what?
And then at in the Blood and Guts match, Darby had the lighter and he had Jack Perry covered in gasoline. And he handcuffed him or shackled him to the cage. And then he got this match from EVP Matt Jackson, and then he won that match too while he was at it, threatening to light people on fire.
That's how you do it.
So, do you think there will be people lit on fire in this match?
Yes.
We want fire. I actually don't want fire.
I don't want it either, but it feels like they're leaning towards that. There's
just nowhere to go. There's nowhere to go for these two.
Set the coffin on fire when someone's in it.
They need to like just gimmick stuff. They need to make it look like Darby Allin does like a caveman drop like off the top of a building and then but he just kind of like what they did with Rey Mysterio in the Money in the Bank match at Titan Towers when he like fell off the building.
Yep.
That's all they can do. It's like make it look like, or they should do like the monster truck thing like they did in WCW.
Now we're talking. Tony, get on the phone.
Monster trucks on the roof of Wembley Stadium. I'm being told Wembley Stadium does not have a roof.
Yes,
Figure it out. Now I just have no idea what kind of stunts they could pull in this. You know?
Darby Allin has something.
I'm kind of worried about it, to be honest.
For his life? Me too.
So in this one, I actually don't know who's going to win. Like, I don't have like a pick. Because I could so easily see that devilish heel Jack Perry winning. And Darby Allin has been kind of having the upper hand. Like he's always either lighting Jungle Boy on fire or he's about to. You know?
I know.
So I'm thinking Jack Perry wins.
I also think that, yes.
And hopefully, he won't be buried inside of a prison wall like the Reverend Jeremiah Cloutier.
We can only hope.
So we've got this tag team championship match. The Young Bucks versus FTR versus the Acclaimed. The Young Bucks, another thing not really hitting for me at the moment. Like they've been heels on the indies and had much more heat than they do as the heel EVPs.
I think it started off pretty good too. It just kind of like stalled.
Yeah. And I heard Dave Meltzer was saying that the Young Bucks, the reason why they're not on TV a lot is because they only have certain dates. So they are the highest ever paid tag team. They made a note of that when they got their most recent contracts. So I guess they're only on certain dates. Kind of like, is this like a Goldberg deal?
Man, that's a sweet contract.
Yeah.
What EVP signed them to that?
Each other.
Yeah, exactly. You couldn't sign your own deal, but my brother, yeah, sure.
Yeah. It's like I signed my brother, and I signed my brother. So, Young Bucks, FTR, The Acclaimed. So I think this is going to be a great match. I don't see how it's not.
Oh, yeah.
These are probably the three best, well, two of the best tag teams in AEW in the Young Bucks and FTR. The Acclaimed up there as well. And I would say, if I was booking this match, I am putting the belts on The Acclaimed.
Oh, yes, me too. I'm glad you said that.
But all three of these teams kind of have the same problem, I feel like, right now. Where people are really critical of them online. And there's like the Collision thing I thought was good. The Collision match I liked. I didn't care that it ended in a draw. I'm not one of those people that hates something when it ends in a draw. Like a UFC fight, it does kind of suck because you really wanted like a win. But
yeah.
But that's a real sport.
I was gonna say, I mean, because like, unfortunately, not unfortunately, but I mean, as long as the performance is good in wrestling, it's okay if it's a draw sometimes.
I do think it's funny how you can hear the fans in attendance whenever it's a draw. They feel like they just got robbed, blind, like like they just got finger poke of doomed. You know, you got a 30-minute match between FTR and The Acclaimed, and at the end you're gonna go boo. Oh,
yeah, come on, man.
It was a great match.
Exactly.
So, I mean, speaking of draws, though, why is Dax... You know, these guys are fighting to a draw. Why can't anybody finish a match? Why is it that these guys, FTR, Dax Harwood, and Cash Wheeler, always go into draws?
I mean...
They're supposed to be the best tag team in the world. They can't even finish a match.
They can't, I guess, you know what? They can't lose, all right?
Every other match on AEW television has a winner.
Except for them, brother. They didn't dig creative, so it's a draw.
I mean, there was just a draw, actually, on Dynamite, right? Claudio versus Okada went to a draw.
Yeah, that's true.
And actually, Okada did have that draw against Kenny Omega back in the day.
That's true.
So, yeah, what? It's like Dax and Okada. Why can't these guys finish a match?
That's pretty funny, yeah.
You know, like, do you not have a finishing move? A signature maneuver? The big rig? Is the big rig no longer effective?
Big rig. Oh, my God. Yeah. No, it doesn't work. It only works in Florida. Well, I guess it would work there, too. I guess it only works in Central Florida.
No, in Central Florida, it is called the... because now it is done by the other tag team that was in Central Florida. It's the what's it called? What was their move called in WWE?
Oh, the Shatter Machine?
Yeah, it's called the Shatter Machine.
Yeah. You're right. Big rig.
So I think the Acclaim's going to win.
I hope they do.
We also have the AEW Trios Championship. Once this became a ladder match, I became a lot more interested in it. The Patriarchy, which, if I'm not mistaken, it's Christian Cage, Nick Wayne, and Mother Wayne. I mean, we'll see who competes in the match. Is the Patriarchy... Are we doing like Freebird rules where could be the mom, could be the giant dinosaur?
I think we know, but that's okay.
So you think it's going to be Kill Switch?
Yeah.
See.
We'll see, though.
So it's a London ladder match for the Trios titles. The Patriarchy versus House of Black versus the Bang Bang Gang, which at this point I'm pretty sure is the Ass Boys and Juice.
Yes.
Juice and the Ass Boys.
Juice and the Ass Boys.
Which it's fine with me. And a mystery team. How many other trios are there? It ain't going to be Death Triangle.
No, it's I believe it is Pac, Claudio, and Wheeler Yuta.
What, has it already been announced?
Looks like it, yeah.
That's a really weird team.
That is a very strange team, yes.
Moxley's not on this card. Why couldn't it be Moxley?
That is very strange.
Is he not allowed in the country? I don't know. No, I think he's fine.
That's weird. Yeah, good point. That's strange.
So we have the FTW Championship, folks. The For the World Championship. Chris Jericho versus Hook. I think it goes without saying that this one is not hitting Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho has... Did he become irrelevant overnight? Or was it over time, would you say?
Good. I think it was over time.
Yeah, because at first you were kind of like, is he really becoming irrelevant? And then it's like, solidly, yes.
Yep.
You know? And I think that he kind of dug his heels in with this the learning tree gimmick. And I think he's basically just trying to take people down with him at this point.
Yeah, there was a point where Chris Jericho could do any character and get it over, but now it might actually be over.
Right. I think we've gone past that point. I mean,
yep.
Is he the redwood? Is Big Bill the redwood now? Is that the tree that he's is he a sequoia tree? What is he? What kind of tree are we talking? We got Big Bill. And the thing that bothers me the most is that they put Bryan Keith in this Jericho Vortex.
I know, which bothers you so much.
They're acknowledging it as the Jericho Vortex. Ha ha ha. Okay. Uninteresting.
Yeah.
Versus Hook. Hook was doing a lot of fun stuff before this. I feel like he's been in the Jericho mix for too long. And put the belt back on Hook. Let's get Taz in there.
Yeah.
I mean, no, Taz said recently he needs like 2 knee surgeries, I think, and hips or something, or shoulders. So he can't even, I don't even think he can even like hit Jericho with the belt. But Hook,
that's all we would need.
Hook needs some backup here as well. So I don't know who's coming out. I mean, Hookhausen. I haven't seen Danhausen in a while.
Oh, that'd be incredible.
Hook was hanging out with was it Darby? No. Somebody else. Who else was Hook friends with?
Action Bronson.
There we go. We are going to see, well, speaking of musicians, we are going to see Fozzy perform, confirmed, at All In, which I'm actually more fine with that than watching Jericho wrestle at this point.
That's right. Absolutely.
You know? So, Hook, let's bring the FTW title home back to Red Hook.
That's where he got his name.
So we've got the Casino Gauntlet. So this one's confusing to me. I'll admit it. Is this really the first pinfall wins the match?
Yeah.
But that's not how a gauntlet match works.
No.
A gauntlet match is one at a time, and it's a gauntlet. So you keep going. Right? You have to keep winning. It's a gauntlet. I don't know.
I think this is actually the original gauntlet, and I think the WWE kind of bastardized the gauntlet match.
So in this, well, we'll see what the rules are. I mean, that's kind of just going to be what it is. But so announced Orange Cassidy. Evil Uno is announced for this match?
He is.
All right. Evil Uno, folks, is a supremely underrated in-ring talent.
Yep.
Hangman Page. Mustache is not underrated. It is rated perfectly as a perfect mustache.
Yep.
More competitors to be announced. Was that really?
I think we got Mark Briscoe, Kyle O'Reilly.
I was going to say, and Kyle O'Reilly from the Conglomeration, which is just the updated Best Friends. So we've got like Ishii. It's really the updated Chaos is what it is.
Oh, yeah.
It's just the latest iteration of Chaos is Ishii, Kyle O'Reilly, Mark Briscoe, and Orange Cassidy.
I kind of like.
But they're called the Conglomeration.
I'll take it.
Speaking of Mark Briscoe, Chris, do you want to know what I got in the mail?
Yes, tell me.
This thing is so cool. I'm glad I've got you on the video here so I can actually show you. And for folks listening, Chris can try to do some like audio explaining of what I'm doing.
Open it box. Yep. What do we got here?
This is really cool. It's actually a lot of boxes. Spoiler. It's a Russian
it's
doll.
just boxes, yeah.
Folks,
Oh yeah, is that a portrait? What is that? Oh, that's beautiful.
it's a cardboard box. Inside this box,
Oh, I know where we're going.
just boxes everywhere now. Another portrait of
More clear. Yep.
Mark and Jay Briscoe. And then, you thought that was the last box? Check this out.
Why would it be? Oh
Now
yeah,
it's stuck. Boom.
there it is. That is
Booyakasha.
good stuff. ROH tag team titles too.
This is from the dog collar match with FTR. So they each have a dog collar. So now, technically, if I did want to take these guys out of the box, in my Fig Fed, I could have dog collar matches.
That is good. That is pretty high quality too. Oh
Yep.
man.
And my box didn't come getting destroyed. So
That's good.
although it was shipped in that first box, so it was a little dicey. It was not protected at all. It was an unprotected chair shot to the head in the mail.
I can imagine when you got that in the mail and you saw it, you're like, oh my God.
Look at this. Rest in peace, Jay Briscoe. Awesome figure. I'm never taking this out of the box.
Definitely.
Got the camo pants,
Man, that is good. Yeah.
ROH tag titles, like you said. And I just love those dog collars. Those are so unique.
Yeah, that's a high quality. That's top tier purchase there.
Yep, and somebody texted me, or my other good brother-in-law texted me and said, that's the first toothless action figure I've ever seen.
Well,
About Mark. And you know how Mark Briscoe lost those teeth, right? Jay Briscoe swung a chair backwards and hit him right in the teeth.
makes sense.
There's a video of Jay Briscoe telling that story. It's hilarious. It's like calling his brother a bitch.
Sounds like about right.
Yeah, this is awesome, folks. It's one of 4,000 Jazzwares Vault. I pre-ordered this the second I saw on Twitter that it was up for pre-order. Just arrived.
That's awesome.
So that will not be a Patreon unboxing video because that's not getting unboxed. But Doink, on the other hand, that might be a Patreon video.
Must see.
But yes, Mark Briscoe. Going to be all in this casino. Or no. Is he?
Yes,
He is.
he is.
He's the TBA. To be announced. Mark Briscoe. His new friend, Kyle O'Reilly. This is like a misfit match.
I know that's
So, we talked already about Ricochet signing with AEW, according to Fightful. Just today. Reporting that one, as of this recording. And we're going to see Ricochet at All In, you think?
yes, somehow.
In this match?
Maybe in this. Yeah. Yep. Perfect time to do it. Perfect introduction.
Yeah, so any other... I can't really... I haven't really thought of any predictions, like other non-AEW, not on the roster type names that might be in this casino gauntlet.
Oh yeah. I feel like they scooped. There's not a lot of people out there anymore, is there? You know.
We'll see. I'm here for some surprises. If AEW wants to give us some, I'm also here just for a great card if they want to give us that as well. I don't like to get my hopes up, but there's always going to be some surprise new person.
Yeah.
Even though it is awesome when that happens.
It is, but yeah, I hear you.
We also have
good. I mean, the matches look good.
We also have this match that was announced for the 0 hour. So, I mean, you're announcing right when you book a match right away that it's on the 0 hour, you know? It's like... And it was booked kind of a few weeks ago, I feel like. Willow Nightingale and Tomohiro Ishii, which just an awesome mixed tag team right there. Willow Nightingale and Ishii.
Yes.
Against Statlander and Stokely Hathaway, who's been training, folks. He's been training at Creative Pro.
I love it.
It's Chris Stat. So, I'm very interested to see Ishii and Stokely in the ring together.
Yes, that'll be great.
I think it's going to be a one-sided affair. Ishii is so awesome. I'm curious to see what Stokely has when the bell rings. Here, Let's do it.
Yeah. Sure, it'll be fun. The guy's very talented. Like, he's very creative in his character, so I'm sure it'll be great, even if it's not like the best wrestling you ever saw.
So we had Saraya versus Tony Storm on the Dynamite in Cardiff, England, according to Jericho. That was funny. Cardiff, England. But do we think we'll see Saraya? I mean, last year she won the championship. It was this big moment. Her whole family was there.
I do, yeah. Probably not. Honestly, no.
You don't think we're going to see her brother?
Let's be having you.
Oh, God. I mean, he might be in the gauntlet, too.
Oh, yeah. That's actually... Yeah. I'd book that for sure.
Let's be having you.
He said, Tony Khan, you got a gauntlet match?
Let's be having you.
So we were talking about that draw from Dynamite with Cesaro and Okada. I mean, they could be in this match.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
Well, no, Claudio he's in the trios match, is he?
Oh, yeah.
So maybe Okada.
You got to have Okada on the card, so.
I just feel like Okada in a gauntlet match should just be in the main event.
Yes, he should. Absolutely.
So I don't know what's going on with Pac, but we know he's actually going to be challenging the following week. Is it really just the next week, or is it 2 weeks? All out.
Let me run this down, yeah. Last year was the week after. Remember that? That was crazy.
It was weird. He had CM Punk's last match in AEW against Samoa Joe, and then the following week they were in Chicago. And Tony Khan had to tell everybody he fired CM Punk.
Oh yeah, I can't believe that was last year only. Oh man.
Well, no, it was later than that he came out to the crowd and told the crowd that he fired CM Punk.
Well, yeah, but I mean, so 2 weeks, not Labor Day weekend, the weekend after.
Okay, so we got a weekend off, and then we're back with another AEW pay-per-view where Pac is going to challenge whomever wins MJF versus Will Ospreay for the International Championship.
Be a pretty fun match. I like that.
Any other British people that we haven't considered? Are we going to see? Well, Grado is Scottish, right?
Yeah, we can. Grado.
Another Scottish person we're not going to see is. I don't want to say his name. He may appear. Joe Hendry. Is he Scottish, right?
He is Scottish, yes.
I deduced that only from listening to him sing.
Me too.
It's just, I don't know what it is about that one Scottish accent. It's just, right away. The country, the whole England, there's 5 different accents in England, right? There's Manchester, there's a Liverpool accent, there's London, and it's Scotland, they're from Scotland. And I'm sure there's dialects right within that, but I just mean you can tell.
Yeah, definitely.
Drew McIntyre.
Sometimes in songs you can't hear the English accent, but that Scottish really comes out singing.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to AEW All In. The only thing that about these daytime events is I don't know what to do with myself afterward. That's the only thing. The show's over and I'm ready for more. I need a post show. They should, do a second show for people who are for the sickos.
Yeah, they could call it that. It could be this is a 0 hour. It could be the 25th hour.
Yeah, it's and now we're going to go to a 4-hour show for people who refuse to blink their eyes or change the channel. So yeah, I'm sure there'll be some more surprises. Do you think Jeff Jarrett is going to be on this card? Do you think he's going to be in the match? Casino Gauntlet?
Maybe.
I mean,
what's a pay-per-view without Jeff Jarrett? So yes.
What about Jay White? He's not on here. He's not in the Bang Bang Gang.
You're right. That's crazy. Yeah.
Trio.
I guess we just throw them all in the gauntlet match, right? To get them on the card.
This is the thing is I don't know what to expect as far as, I mean, is this going to be 20 people in this gauntlet or is it more 8 to 10?
If it's Casino, I'm going to go with 21. That's my guess.
And as far as winning, I think it's just going to be Hangman.
Seems like he'd be the one to win, yeah.
Which
is fine.
At this point, whatever match he's in, he's got to win. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Hangman. I mean, they might not want to, they might want to keep the main event its own thing, but I wouldn't be surprised if Hangman came out in the main event.
Oh yeah.
But they might want to just have Bryan beat Swerve clean as a sheet. which I wouldn't mind either. So looking forward to it, folks. It's just going to be another day in the career of the man who said it himself this Wednesday on Dynamite. The best fucking wrestler in the world for the past 20 years. Dare I say, the best wrestler of all time, folks. Bryan Danielson. Just another instance of Bryan Danielson winning a world championship in front of 50+ thousand people. As his career is ending, it's finally going to happen. And I'm here for it. So, we'll be back to talk about AEW All In and review the show, all the results, all the championships that Bryan's going to win on our next episode. All right, folks. Well, that about does it for this episode of Watch Wrestling with Mike Wellman. Thank you for sticking with us to the end of the podcast. So, like I said, we'll be back with another episode. Be sure to subscribe. Find the podcast on Apple, Google, Spotify, the video on YouTube. Find us on social media, Instagram, at Watch Wrestling Podcast, X, at W Wrestling Pod. Find my favorite Joe Hendry tweets on X. They're not tweets. Watch Wrestling Pod, at Watch Wrestling Pod on Facebook. And we're going to be doing a post show that I just remembered. This week on the Patreon post show, we're going to be discussing whether or not AEW should have a performance center to train their talent. So that's going to be our topic on the post show. Check it out on patreon.com/Watch Wrestling. And what does this button do?